It's hardly any wonder that he's now on a crusade to help others avoid the 22 years of demoralizing frustration he experienced.
People always made fun of me, why you got to take this pill to be a regular person, you're not regular. If I can help one person, like, that's kind of like what I'm here for, I mean, I think I have a platform and I'm trying to use it to help other people.
Well, you've just seen his amazing story. Now, Chris Kaman and his mom, Pam, are joining us now right here live in studio. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Now, tell me a little bit from a mom's perspective. What was it like parenting a child with ADHD, or one that you at least thought at the time had ADHD?
Well, it was very difficult. I was an educated person, but nothing I tried, nothing I was told to try worked with him. It just seemed like our house was chaotic and our lives were chaotic, and we had an older child, so we kind of 4.5 years older than him, so we kind of already knew what it was like having a boy, and I worked in a school with kids, so I was familiar with it.
So you already
He was very different, and very difficult, and it was hard, and I kind of felt like there's nothing to look forward to. It was going to be bad, and
it was going to be like this all the time.
I really didn't feel like there was any hope, honestly. I can tell you that from the honest truth. It didn't feel like there was any hope.
And then how do you feel today looking at Chris and looking at everything that has come of his life? I mean, this got to be amazing.
It is amazing. It's amazing that we found out what we have through the program that he's been involved in, but it's amazing that he has turned out the way he has when I thought he was going to be, in trouble and
no hope.
And there wasn't any hope. I mean, honestly, I can remember going and telling my pastor that I needed to give him away because I had tried everything.
See what now? My goodness, there was an NBA. Hello.
I know. And then the day that I got this mail from these college coaches just telling me how proud they were of him, and I was like that, and I was crying in my car on the way to pick him up, thinking that's the boy that I wanted to give away.
Yeah.
And I really wouldn't have, but my pastor told me, just.
So you go through so many feelings and so many emotions, obviously. Now, Chris, for you, what did you feel like growing up with this? I mean, what did you feel like, when you thought the diagnosis was ADHD?
I mean, the worst part was having to take the medication. I just always hated having to take that pill to make myself regular. I thought I could be a regular person without having to take the pill, so I always tried not to take it, and that seemed to be a problem in itself. And I went on thinking the whole time I'm ADHD, and there's nothing to do with it.
And this is it, and this is probably what my life is going to be like forever.
Like how am I was always like, how am I going to be when I'm older? Is this going to affect me? What's going to be the problems? And it just kind of grew from there, and it got worse and worse. And at some point, I stopped taking my medication for almost a year. And I was just like, forget it. I don't care what happens.
Now, for you, why did you make the decision to try this series?
Like my mom said, my cousin, had went through the program, and my uncle, who I really trust and value his opinion, and he told me that she had really made some huge strides and some big changes, and mood-wise, and her grades were doing better, and she wasn't smarting off and talking back like she had used to. And I was like, well, I was skeptical, but I was like, I'll try anything at this point. I wasn't on any medication, and I could tell there was a little bit of a need for something. And so I thought I would try it and just, see what was going on. And like I said, I was just skeptical basically at first.
And so how has your life been since doing this? How has it for you made a difference?
Yeah, I mean, mainly it helps me out. In one area of my personal life was impulse control, because I'm, someone with a lot of money, and,
that can be dangerous.
Yeah. Someone with a lot of money and, no control over that would just, be a big problem. Mm-hmm. And, I found myself buying things and making decisions without thinking things clearly. And, and that's a big thing after the program. I'm able to, to make sure I'm thinking things through and make better decisions on things. And my concentration now in my sport that I play is basketball, and so that's been a big beneficiary of that is concentration levels defensively, and not forgetting things and forgetting coverages and plays, and who I'm guarding, and just all kinds of things. And it's just the biggest thing I can see is in basketball, because I don't really do any, I play basketball. I don't have a 9-to-5 job. I'm doing basketball. It's a sport, and I get to play what I love, and they pay me money.
Oh, you're a lucky man.
Yeah.
Now for you, what is the difference that you've seen in Chris in terms of
Yeah, I've seen a difference. I mean, because of course we watch his games, we've noticed that too. But I've seen a difference in him personally. He's a lot easier to talk to and to get his attention when you need him. Before, it's like he'd be pacing the floor. You'd be in the room with him and he couldn't sit down and talk to you. And now it's like you can have a normal conversation with him, you know? That's a big deal.
I bet you love that too. Lots of time to talk with Mom.
Yeah, well,
share your hopes and your dreams and your feelings, right?
Yeah, well, see, what's not good.
No secrets.
What's not good is she's saying you couldn't have a conversation with him. I didn't know, I don't know that. You don't know that when you're, in that position. You don't realize, you think everything's fine. You don't know what's going on. You just, now from then to now, it's just like, it's unbelievable. It's just like night and day difference. And I mean, it sounds corny, but it's real. I mean, it really worked for me, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to meet Dr. Royer.
And it's a whole different, it's obviously made a change in his life. It's made a change in your life too. I mean, just being able to see all this and everything. So, I want to thank you guys both for being on the show today, for talking a little bit about this. I know it's hard to talk about, and it's nice to see how everything has changed and everything is so much better these days. Thank you guys both for being with us, of course. And up next, he's a popular pastor and an author. Pastor Rob Bell is going to be sharing his experience and reclaiming his brain. So stay with us, please.